You're looking at the video quality from the OBSBOT Tail Air. This is the second OBSBOT tail camera that has been released, and I've been really excited to check this camera out. Unfortunately, this video is not up to snuff from the quality that I normally do in my videos because I just ran out of time. One thing led to another, and life got in the way, and I just didn't have the time to put into this video the way I wanted to do it. I'm recording this video at 4K 30 FPS. This camera is also capable of doing 1080p at up to 60 FPS, and though I'm using this camera in a single cam scenario, this camera's strength lies in NDI, and you're able to string multiple cameras together and use them in an NDI protocol setup. As I mentioned, I ran out of time when it came to making this video, so if there's anything that I missed with this, post your questions in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer anything that I can. But with that being said, I didn't write a script for this, so I don't really know where I'm going next, so let's just get right into it. So I'm about 5 feet away from the Tail Air, and this is a mic check 1 2 3. This is the built-in mic of the OBSBOT Tail Air. Mic check 1 2 3, test 1 2 3, test 1 2 3 4. I did a test earlier of the mic, and I didn't think it sounded too bad for a built-in mic, but you do definitely have the option of running an external mic into the 3.5mm jack on the back of the device. And this is our first video test. Everything is in automatic mode, and I am in a shaded area. What I'm going to do is walk around. I've got the sun over here through the trees, but I'm going to leave it in automatic mode, and I'm going to switch to tracking mode here. So here we go. It should be tracking me now, and I'm going to move over here and put the sun behind me, and we're going to see how that looks. Again, we're in full automatic mode, and this is a lighting test to see how things look. It looks like the lighting got a little bit better as I moved and put the sun behind me. I'm looking at everything here through my phone, but again, this is just a test in automatic. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch to manual mode and dial things in. So you're going to have to bear with me here. This is a little bit hard to see, but it looks like as I come back over here, I'm getting a bit blown out, and I'm going to put the ISO at 100 and move the shutter speed up to 3200, which this is the highest we can go with the shutter speed on this device. So in a very bright blown out area, this is something that you're going to have to account for. I've got the white balance set at 5200, and I've got the style set on outdoor, so this is the kind of image quality that you can expect. I'm going to move back to the sun being behind me now and see if the image is going to look any better. See, now to me it looks a little bit too dark, so I'm going to switch back to a shutter speed of 1000 here, and now this is going to give you that jerky video look because it's not the 180-degree shutter rule. But what you're going to probably want to do if you're going to be using this camera in outdoor scenarios is you probably absolutely do want to invest in some ND filters. Okay, so now I'm going to test the gesture command of this camera. I'm going to do the tracking follow command, and I think I've got it in tracking follow now, so I'm going to turn that off. If I move, it shouldn't follow me, but if I move back over here and give that command again, now it's picked up that command, and now it should follow me. And I'm going to turn all the way around as far as I can, and that's as far as it's going to go. I can't go to the other side because there's a lake over there. I'm going to have it stop following me now, and again, you can see here that the lighting is not ideal. This is our auto zoom, and it looks like it picked me up, and now it's smart framing me. I can see that here on the phone. Zoom back out. It looks like it didn't pick up that command. Maybe it's because of the shaded area here. Let me change the lighting a little bit here. Okay, so now that things are a little bit brighter, let's test that out again. Zoom command. There we go. So definitely with your gesture commands, you want to keep your lighting in mind and how that's going to affect how the camera picks you up. And our last command is the OK command, and that starts and stops recording. So if I do the OK sign now, it should stop recording. Let's give it a go. Okay, so here I'm in a completely overblown sunlit area. I'm in automatic mode, and I've got the sun coming from that direction. What I'm going to do is try to walk around and put the sun behind me now. So let's get it tracking me here. Should be tracking me now. Okay, so here we are with the sun behind me now, and it looks like I'm getting pretty well shaded out from that. What I'm going to do is switch over into manual mode now and see if I can improve the image quality. So I'm going to take the ISO's at 100. I'm going to try to take, so I got the shutter speed maxed out right now at 8,000. If I take it down, the image starts to get blown out. So this is one of those things where you're definitely not going to want to light your scene like this with the sun behind, but sometimes you just can't help that, and it is what it is. I'm going to walk back around now in manual mode, and I've got my shutter speed at 8,000, which is max. Overall, I think the image looks pretty good for this kind of scenario. This is not an ideal lighting scenario, so let's move on to a dimly lit area and try that out next. Okay, so now I'm in a pretty dimly lit area. I'm inside of a shelter house. There's no lighting in here. There is some lighting coming in from the open windows, from the sunlight coming in, but I can tell from this image here that this is being brightened up. This is not what this looks like naturally. It is considerably darker in here than what this image is showing. And I'm in automatic mode now, and we're going to go ahead and test the tracking in here. And it looks like it's keeping up with me fairly well. Looks good there. What I'm going to do now is switch over into manual mode. And I'm at a shutter speed of 8,000 from when I was out in the sun. I'm going to take this down quite a bit. And when it went to dark mode, it lost me. Here we go. All right, now it's picked me back up. I'm in manual mode. I'm at shutter speed 100 now. So, and I'm at ISO 100. I'm going to take the ISO up to 200 and take the shutter speed to 60. So now we should be losing that robotic look, the jerky look that you get with a high shutter speed. I'm able to take the ISO up in this darker area, and this is what the image looks like. Now I do see over there the window is blowing this out a little bit, so let me move away from that and see if things look any better. But again, this is a test of the OBSBOT tail, and this is what the image quality is going to look like in a very dimly lit area. So I think the overall image quality of this camera is really good. I'm recording this all in 4K 30 FPS, and as you can see all of my little sun blisters that I got out in the sun today, and they're not very flattering, but it does give a good representation of the kind of video quality that you can get out of this camera, for better or for worse. And for comparison's sake, for anyone who's interested, this is what the OBSBOT Tiny 2 webcam image quality looks like. And it's jittering now for some reason, and I don't have time to troubleshoot it right now. And here are what they look like side by side. Over here on the left, I've got the OBSBOT Tail Air, and on the right, this is the OBSBOT Tiny 2. So almost everything you do with this camera is controlled through the OBSBOT Start app, which I'm using right now. And I've got the camera set in manual mode, and the way that you configure that is through this app on here. So I can switch it back to automatic and go back to manual, and from here I can go in here and roll back the shutter speed and the ISO, and so I just did the shutter speed. So now I can take the ISO up or down, and that's how you do everything with that. Unfortunately, I don't have time to go through everything in the app, and I'm not even completely familiar with the app. I just, like I said, didn't have time to get into it and do everything the way I wanted to do. But if, for example, I want to do gimbal control through the app, I've got the option to do that, and that's how I'm controlling this right now. You can also start and stop the recording with the app, and you can control your gimbal speed through the app. There's just a ton of configuration options in the app, and unfortunately, I don't have time to go through all of them in this video. You can put this camera in UVC mode, which in layman's terms basically is USB webcam mode, and that's how I'm recording this now. It's basically just for speed and efficiency to get this video out. You do also have the option of recording out of the camera's micro HDMI port if you go into a capture card or something like that. You can also get your video signal through RTSP. You can just go to the RTSP address of this camera. It acts as a RTSP server, but if you do it that way, just count on the image having about a 2-second delay. Other than that, it looks pretty good. And as I mentioned previously, the camera also supports NDI, but you will need to buy an NDI license. And at this point in time, I have not been able to find what the pricing is going to be on that. I would advise anybody who is really interested in this camera, join the Facebook group for the OBSBOT Tail Air, and there's all kinds of information there. I've dug through that group and I've not been able to find pricing, but there is a ton of information on this product there. And one last quick thing before I wrap up, here is an autofocus test. Meets my standards. So I do really wish I had more time to go into a deep dive on this device, but unfortunately, like I said, life has just gotten in the way and I don't have the time to put into this video. With that being said, I'm not going to give a final thought on this device like I normally do because I just haven't spent enough time with it to really make an accurate, honest assessment of what I think of it. So I am going to put a link to the Kickstarter in the description, and there's going to be a link to the Facebook group. And with that being said, I hope you got something out of this video, and thank you so much for watching.